Welcome to the Cozy Ghoul Society, where ghosts are friendly, the tea is hot, and the vibes are always spooky. Hey, ghoul friends, it's Anna, and today we're taking a haunted stroll back through time. We're diving into the chilling, complicated, and truly bizarre world of the Salem Witch Trials, one of the most infamous supernatural panics in American history. Light a candle, cozy up with something warm, and let's get into it. The spark that lit the flame. Keep in mind, it's 1692, and the winter has its icy grips on the small, tightly knit Puritan settlement of Salem Village, Massachusetts. Young Betty Paris was 9, and her cousin Abigail Williams was 11. The daughter and niece of Reverend Samuel Paris began acting strangely. Convulsions, outbursts, and terrifying hallucinations. Dr. William Griggs, the village physician, can't find any physical cause, so naturally, he blames witchcraft. Other girls in the village quickly began showing similar symptoms. Fear spreads like frost on a window pane, and the whispers began. Could there be witches among us? I got a fun fact for you guys. Some historians now believe that the girl's symptoms may have been caused by ergot poisoning, a mold that grows on rye and can cause hallucinations. But, back then, would they have really kind of guessed that? Not really. There actually was three marginalized women that were accused. Tibita, an enslaved woman of the Caribbean or indigenous descent who shared folk tales and was perceived as other. There was Sarah Good, poor and outspoken beggar, and then Sarah Osborne, an elderly woman who didn't attend church regularly and defied social norms. Now, as the research said, with a lot of a poor, outspoken beggar and Sarah Osborne being an elderly woman who didn't attend church regularly, you just knew they were different. You just knew those people were different, just like Tibita. Very different than everybody else out there. So, I mean, as of even today, we very much judge the outspoken people, and we very much still judge people who are different. I know a lot of us try not to, which we do so good at that. But, this stuff still happens today. But it seems like they were seen as convenient scapegoats. And under pressure, Tibita confessed and even claimed that there were more witches working with the devil in Salem. A confession that just made the flames even bigger. And that in itself is kind of. But soon accusations started flying like curses in a coven. People pointed fingers at their neighbors, enemies, even their own spouses and parents. The village was spiraling. This time was chaotic. Truly chaotic. That leads to like my second fun fact. At one point, 4-year-old Dorothy Good was accused and in prison. She was 4. This is honestly insane if you think about it. A 4-year-old. I cannot wrap my brain around this part. That just baffles me. But to handle the growing panic, Governor William Phipps set up a special court, the Court of Oyer and Terminer. And this is where shit gets really dark. The court allowed spectral evidence. Basically, a testimony from someone claiming a ghost or an accused attacked them in a dream or vision. So you could have a nightmare that somebody came up, stabbed you, slapped you, poisoned you, or anything, and they would be accused. So just know you're minding your business, you're in your house, cooking, doing whatever you are, and then the village police come and they're like knocking on your door, and you're like, "Oh, hey, officer, what are you here for?" Which you are going to jail because you're a witch. Your ghost or what whatever you sent to this person has winded you up in jail because you are a witch. They needed no physical proof. It's insane when you read about this. Between June and September, 19 people were hanged on Gallows Hill. One man, Giles Corey, was pressed to death with stones for refusing to enter a plea. His final words were, "Wait, let that sink in." He literally just said, "More wait." 5 more people died awaiting trial. It's just, oh my God. It's just insane to just realize that this is such a prominent part of our history. I have another fun fact for you guys about this. The accused were often held in a freezing jail cells for months, sometimes even shackled. Like, I mean, yeah, it makes sense that it would be that, but I just, for crimes that weren't even accused, like, weren't even truly a thing. It's just crazy. I know, I don't even know what I know at this point. What historians think really happened, what really caused this panic, was a perfect storm of religious extremism and Puritan fear of the devil, stricter gender roles, with outspoken or independent white labeled women as threats. Does that sound too different from today? I mean, land disputes where accusing the neighbor could gain you property, generational trauma, and colonial tension after wars with indigenous tribes. Hey, I'm just saying, with this history, y'all took the land. Like, they had rights. I'm just saying. Psychological distress and environmental factors like ergot poisoning. Essentially, like today, fear became a tool, and the people who were different, difficult, or simply inconvenient were labeled as dangerous. I have another fun fact. Salem Village, where the most accusations came from, was a poorer community than oh my God, rural than nearby Salem town, which was wealthier and more politically powerful. Class conflict may have played a huge role. Once again, does that shock us too much? Probably not. But by October 1692, even the Puritans were getting spooked by their own justice systems. Governor Phipps stepped in and dissolved the court of Oyer and Terminer and banned spectral evidence. In 1693, the remaining accused were released, and the trials came to a halt. Over the years, the colony and later then the state issued apologies and financial reparations. In 1711, Massachusetts General Court passed a bill restoring rights to some of the accused. In 1992, on the 30th anniversary, Salem had a special memorial. In 2001, the final 5 people were formally exonerated. Today, Salem embraces its dark past with tours, museums, and spooky shops, but it also stands as a warning. When fear and power collide, truth becomes a casualty. Did you know you can still visit the Salem Witch Trials Memorial today, which honors each of the victims with a stone bench inscribed with their name and their final words? That's just trippy to me. But honestly, if you want to learn more, I highly recommend checking out the following resources I used to create today's episode: the Smithsonian Magazine, History.com, the Salem Witch Museum, Britannica, PBS, Massachusetts Historical Society, The Atlantic, and the Salem Witch Trials Documentary Archive, UVA. These are some amazing resources for deeper, more historical, political, and cultural elements of the trial. Plus, they all have great spooky vibes. Thanks for haunting the past with me, cool friends. If you enjoyed today's tale, share it with somebody who loves a good historical chill. And remember, witches were once just women who refused to be quiet. Until next time, stay cozy, Stay weird. Bye.